Kareem. And the answer? I think I can hear you. Allahu Akram. Okay, so we're going to start with Quran recitation today. And today we're going to look at Surah Al-Asr. Now, Surah Al-Asr is 3 lines basically, but it has a lifetime in it. But what we'll do from today right till the end of the month of Ramadan is recite all the surah until the end. So from 103 to 114, and then tomorrow when we start 104, we'll go up to 114. So are you ready? So if you get your Qur'ans, I've got mine, and I told you I've got my Papa's Quran. So pick it up and we'll recite it together. Okay, you ready? It's surah number 103. Okay. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wal asr. Innal insana lafi khusr. إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ويل لكل همزة لمزة الذي جمع مالا وعدده يحسب أن ماله أخلده كلا لينبذن في الحطمة وما أدراك ما الحطمة نار الله الموقدة التي تطلع على الأفئدة إنها عليهم مؤصدة في أمد ممددة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بأصحاب الفيل ألم يجعل كيدهم في تضليل وأرسل عليهم طيرا أبابيل ترميهم بحجارة من سجيل فجعلهم كعصف مأكول. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لإيلاف قريش إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت الذي يطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين فذلك الذي يدع اليتيم ولا يحض على طعام المسكين فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون والذين هم يراعون ويمنعون الماعون. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل يا أيها الكافرون لا أعبد ما تعبدون ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد لكم دينكم ولي دين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفر إنه كان توابا. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب سيصلى نارا ذات لهب وامرأته حمالة الحطب في جيدها حبل من مسد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. صدق الله العلي العظيم وصدق الرسول الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين. So today we're going to look at Surah Al-Asr. Okay, so Surah Al-Asr, if we look at the focus first, it's success as defined by divinity. So what does Allah see as successful? As the one who's won, basically. And it's also successful time management. What do we do with our 24 hours? What do we do with our whole life? How do we manage it? You know, when the companions of the Prophet used to meet one another and they were leaving, so they'd sit down, have a chat, whatever. When they departed, when they left each other, one of them always recited Surah Al-Asr. So it was always there to remind them about what is success. It's a continuous reminder again and again. So why is Asr called time? Is it time? Well, let's see. See, Asr is to squeeze. Asir is juice in Arabic. So if you said Asir Burtukal, you said orange juice. So that's to squeeze. So time basically squeezes the dunya into the akhirah. The time of Asr is when the morning is squeezed into the evening or into the night. And time, in essence, tells us basically what we've done or what we wish we would have done. You know, at the end of our lives, when you get old like me, you will think, how many things did I wish I would have done? How would I make better use of my time? And I would regret those things where I didn't spend enough time where I should have. So let's see what this surah says and what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. So he starts off by saying, Wal asr, I swear by time. And we've talked about why Allah swears. It's not because he wants to prove he's right, but to tell us how important what he's swearing by is. So I swear by time. And then he says, Innal insana lafi khusr. Every human being is in loss. My goodness, loss? It's actually saying, it's telling us individuals, telling you, me, everyone, you. He's saying, you are at loss. And you're thinking, really? But then what is success if that's loss? So he says, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ, except those who آمَنُوا, who believe, who trust in him, who submit to him, وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, who do, now I hate saying good deeds. Amal, the deed, is something you do consciously. That means you know your intention and your action. And salihat comes from salaha, which means to fix or to mend. So those good actions who mend, whose consequences are good as well. That means the results are good as well. What you leave behind is good as well. It's a deed which makes one good, if I can say it that way. A good deed that makes one good. So that's amilus salihat. Then it says, وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ. Tawasi is to tell somebody, give somebody good advice, okay? To counsel someone. You know, wasiyah is to leave a will. When somebody dies, they leave a wasiyah. But they leave it to somebody whom they've loved and something they know will benefit the other person. So, tawasi bil-haq, you give good advice about truth. Truth is not very comfortable sometimes. My mom tells you to brush your teeth for 2 minutes. It's not comfortable. But it's important. She's doing it for your own good. So tawasi bil haq is actually making sure we say it with rahmah, with the truth, for the truth. And then tawasaw bis sabr. Sabr is perseverance, commitment, to hang on, not to give up. Patience, that comes at the end. But first to try really, really hard. And maybe I can say to advise patience to patience, or advising with patience to patience. So really important. This is such an important surah. It's so tiny, 3 sentences, but my goodness, it just has the world in it. You know, let me just give a small example. If you think who's successful, what do you think? I've talked about this before. There's probably a repetition, but repetition is good. So, and I say what's successful. For example, Fir'aun had a celebrity home. He had a palace. Is he successful? Was he successful? Would you call him successful? Qarun, do you remember we talked about Qarun? Qarun we talked about in Surah Al-Ankabut. He had loads of wealth. The keys to his to where his money and his gold and his silver was kept was so heavy it needed strong men to carry it. So he had lots of wealth. Was he successful? Yazid, I mean, he had palaces and palaces. Was he successful? So who was successful? The Prophet was a refugee. He was homeless. Prophet Ibrahim was stateless. Look at Imam Hussein. Yet who is successful? Sometimes when we look at adverts or we look at what the world tells us, we believe success is something else. But Allah says it is these four things, and there's no or, it's and. Believe and good deeds that mend, and good and advising others to truth, and advising others to patience. Remember, you can only do that if you do it to yourself first. So let's recite Surah Al-Asr again, just one more time, and then we'll go on to dua. So you ready? And again, even if you know the surah by heart, it's really, really cool to look at it in your Quran. So I'm going to look at it as well. So let's start. You ready? Okay. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wal asr. Innal insana lafi khusr. Illa alladhina amanu وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر صدق الله العلي العظيم. Can I have a salawat please? اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. Now today we're going to read Ya Ali Ya Azim. We're going to read Allahumma Adkhil and Allahumma Rabba Shahr Ramadan. And then, like I told you yesterday, normally on a Wednesday outside of Ramadan, I will read Dua Tawbah, which is from Sayfat al-Sajjadiyah. And I'd like to talk about Sayfat al-Sajjadiyah today and the daily du'as. I read them from here as well. So maybe you could look at a copy as well. But first, let's read our Ramadan du'as, okay? You ready? You got it with you? Okay, let's start. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Ya Aliyu Ya Azim. Ya Ghafuru Ya Rahim. أنت الرب العظيم الذي ليس كمثله شيء وهو السميع البصير. وهذا شهر عظمته وكرمته وشرفته وفضلته على الشهور وهو الشهر الذي فرضت صيامه عليه وهو شهر رمضان الذي أنزلت فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان وجعلت فيه ليلة القدر وجعلتها خيرا من 1000 شهر. فيا ذا المن ولا يمن عليك من علي بفقاك رقبتي من النار في من تمن عليه وادخلني الجنة برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم أدخل على أهل القبور السرور. اللهم أغني كل فقير. اللهم أشبع كل جائع. اللهم اكس كل عريان. اللهم اقضي دين كل مدين. اللهم فرج عن كل مكروب. اللهم رد كل غريب. اللهم فك كل أسير. اللهم أصلح كل فاسد من أمور المسلمين. اللهم اشف كل مريض. اللهم سد فقرنا بغناك. اللهم غير سوء حالنا بحسن حالك. اللهم اقض عنا الدين وأغننا من الفقر إنك على كل شيء قدير. اللهم رب شهر رمضان الذي أنزلت فيه القرآن وافترضت على عبادك فيه الصيام صل على محمد وآل محمد وارزقني حج بيتك الحرام في عام هذا وفي كل عام واغفر لي تلك الذنوب العظام فإنه لا يغفرها غيرك يا رحمن يا علام. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. So we're going to look at Sayfat al-Sajjadiyah. Well, let me tell you about it. It is a story and I love stories, okay? So Sayfat al-Sajjadiyah means the sahifas, the papers of Sajjad, of Imam Zainul Abidin, also known as the Psalms of Islam. Psalms are maybe du'as that are beautiful of Islam. It's also known the Zabur of Ali Muhammad. So it's, you know, like Prophet Dawood has the Zabur. Well, this is like that. It's like the Zabur of the Ahlul Bayt. It's phenomenal. So let me tell you the story. So one day, There's a scholar of ours called Mullah Muhammad Taqi Majlisi. Can you remember that? Mullah Muhammad Taqi Majlisi. So this scholar was lying in his bed and he was sort of dozing a little. And he saw himself, like in his dream, he's seeing himself in Masjid Atiq, which is in Isfahan. So in Isfahan, there's a masjid called Masjid Atiq. And in his dream, he sees Imam Mahdi Ajjalallahu Faraja. And oh my goodness, he remembers all his issues, his problems he had that he couldn't solve. And he asks Imam about those problems. And Imam gives him the answer of all his problems. And then he said, Ya Ibn Rasulullah, Ya Imam, can you give me a book that I can put into practice? Something that people haven't seen and it's really good and useful to them. So Imam told him that go and see Mullah Muhammad Taj. Remember that? Mullah Muhammad Taj. Can you remember that name? Taj is a crown. Remember, go to him. And then he woke up. But that night when he slept in his dream, he saw the book. And it seemed to be a book of du'as. So when he woke up, he thought the book was in his hands and he looked at his hands and they were empty. And he was so sad. He was really sad. So he wanted to find, who is this Muhammad al-Taj? And he remembered that where he lived, there was a man called Sayyid Muhammad al-Mudarrisi, who was known as the crown of the scholars, as the Taj of the scholars. So he went to see him. And he was having a class and he was teaching people. But in his hands was the book that Mullah Muhammad Taqi Majlisi had seen in his dream. So he went up to him, and remember, it's respectful because this is a scholar who was known as the crown of the scholars. He went up to him and he said, I had this dream and I think I saw the book that you have. And Mullah Muhammad al-Mudarrisi told him, you know what? These dreams are good. It means that you're going to have high levels of knowledge. He didn't say anything, but he was a little bit confused. And he really wanted this book, but he didn't know how to do this. So he was walking around in the market thinking, and suddenly came near the melon market. So they had a market where they had a stall with melons on it. And when he was there was a man, a pious old man. He was a really good guy. Everybody knew him as a good guy. His name was Aka Hassan. And people called him Taja. And he said, Salaam alaikum, Mullah Majlisi. And he said, alaikum salam. And he said, look, you know what? I have a lot of books in my library, but I want to give them to someone who's going to make use of them, who's really going to use them and make sure people understand them and makes more of them. So he said, why don't you come to me to my library? So Mullah Muhammad Taqi Majlisi goes with Aka Hassan to this library. And he sees the book that was in his dream. Can you imagine how excited he was? And he says, I just want this one. This is enough for me. He takes it. He goes straight back to Sheikh Muhammad al-Mudarrisi and finds that it had come from the same source. That means it had handwritten by Shahid al-Awwal. And maybe one day we'll talk about all these scholars. Basically, what Mullah Muhammad Taqi Majlisi tells us, that the book's authenticity, which means that it is really real, was confirmed by Imam Mahdi. I absolutely love this book. So let's look at the book. This is a book written by Imam Sajjad, and it teaches us a lot of stuff besides it being du'as. So there's 54 du'as. 54, can you remember? There's 7 additional du'as. Then there is 7 daily du'as, like a du'a for each day of the week. And then there's, oh my goodness, the most beautiful ones are the 15 munajat. Munajat comes from najwa, which is secret. They're whispered to us. Oh, they're to die for. You've got to read them, okay? But today I'm going to read a little bit from the daily dua for Wednesday. So one of the books looks like this. I just love it. So let's have a look at the daily dua. I keep it near my musalla. So I'm going to read the last bit for the dua for Wednesday. And I'm hoping that you're going to get a copy. Ask mom and dad to get you a copy for Eid. It's beautiful. So here Imam says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It says, Allahumma qdi li fil arba'i arba'a. اجعل قوتي في طاعتك ونشاتي في عبادتك ورغبتي في ثوابك وزهدي فيما يوجب لي عليم عقابك إنك لطيف لما تشاء. So he said, on this 4th day of the week, you know it is the 4th day, right? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Sunday is known as the 1st day, Monday 2nd, okay? Tuesday 3rd, and Wednesday 4th. So he said, on the 4th day, give me 4 things. Give me the strength, quwwati, so I can obey you. I can do what you tell me to do. And then you say, وَنَشَاتِ فِي إِبَادِكَ, so I'm really happy when I come to do your ibadah. Oh, I love this. And then وَرَغْبَتِي فِي ثَوَابِكَ, that I really, really want your reward, your thawab. I want to do stuff that will give me thawab. وَالزُّهْدِ فِي مَا يُوجِبُ لِعَلِيمِ إِقَابِكَ, and to keep away from everything that will make me get punishment. I don't want to do anything that you say I shouldn't do. And then, oh, إِنَّكَ لَطِيفٌ لِمَا تَشَاءُ, you are so gentle, so subtle in everything. So all this do for me in softly, in gentleness. It is just absolutely wonderful. But I'd like to look a little bit of the extracts from Dua Tawbah, because that's what I read normally on a Wednesday. It doesn't say you have to. Okay, so somebody was asking me this morning that, do you have to read Dua Tawbah on Wednesday? No, you don't. You pick what you want, what you think you like. And from this book, my goodness, you can pick whatever you want. There are du'as for everything. Look, while we're here, let me tell you. For example, there's a dua on completing a reading of the Quran. There's a dua when you're sad. There's a dua when asking for the best, for thanking someone for the coming of the month of Ramadan. And we will look at a dua for saying goodbye to the month of Ramadan. There's a dua for Eid. There's a dua for Friday. Dua when you're sick. Dua when you want water. Dua for your parents. My goodness, a dua for your children. Why wouldn't you want this book? You have to get a copy. Okay, so let's look at some of the things from Dua Tawbah, which I would read normally on a Wednesday. So it's Dua number 31 in Sayfat al-Sajjadiyah, and he talks about the art of Tawbah. Do you know what the art of Tawbah is? That's A-R-T. So the art of Tawbah, A, is to acknowledge. The first thing is you've got to acknowledge that you've done something wrong that you wanted to Tawbah for. The second thing is R for remorse. You must feel really, really bad about doing something that's wrong. And finally, T is for U-turn. Tawbah actually means to U-turn, to turn back from what you're doing, stop doing it, and turn back. So I'm going to take a little bit of the extracts from there. I've taken 7 things. The first one, and in my book, I draw it. So there's a little person looking down, because you say to Allah, I'm standing in your presence. You say, فَمَثَلَ بَيْنَ يَدَيْكَ مُتَضَرِّعًا, I'm standing pleading to you. وَغَمَّضَ بَصَرَهُ إِلَى الْأَرْضِ مُتَخَشِّعًا, I'm looking down at the earth because I'm so ashamed. And then, this is a long dua, I've just taken little bits out of it. You tell him, you said, أَدْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ, which means call me and I will answer you, which is Surah number 40, Ayah 60. So I'm calling you. You say, you said call me, so I'm telling you that I'm calling you. I'm confessing my sins to you. And then the part that I really like, Allahumma inni atubu ilayka fi makami hadha. Oh Allah, I am doing a U-turn. I'm asking for tawbah. I repent to you in this place. Min qaba'iri dhunubi wa sagha'iriha. My big sins and my small sins. Wa bawatini sayyati wa dhawahiriha. My private ones and my public ones. The ones I make apparent and the ones I hide. Wa sawalifi zallati wa hawadithiha. Those that I have done in the past, those that I do now, and those that I keep on doing. Ya Allah, I ask for forgiveness for all of them. And then there's a part in here, oh, I absolutely love it, where he says, إِنَّكَ تَقْبَلُ التَّوْبَةَ مِنْ عِبَادِكَ وَتَعْفُ عَنِ السَّيِّئَاتِ وَتُحِبُّ التَّوَّابِينَ. You accept tawbah, you rub out all the bad deeds, and you love those who do tawbah. Allah loves those who do tawbah. And then you tell him, you know, Ya Allah, if feeling bad about sins was an acceptance of tawbah, then I'm the first of those people who feel bad. So basically you're saying, I'm really, really sorry. You say, Allahumma in yakun nadamu tawbatan ilayka fa'ana andamun nadimin. If feeling bad is sufficient, is enough in your sight, then I am the most remorseful. I'm the one who says, I'm really, really sorry. And then you ask him for help not to return to sinning. So you could take little bits, read them, little extracts, and it's a phenomenal book. So inshallah, you will find yourself with a copy of Sayfat al-Sajjadiyah. So let's go to Ramadan now, okay? The month that we're in, not many days left. Very, very few days left. So yesterday I said I didn't get anything from the kids, but my goodness, today I got lots. So Muhammad, Hashim, Nabila, Sarfraz, Ali, Ja'far, Kambar, Pareen, and Rahma. I mean, your notes are just something to die for. I'm going to print them all out and I'm going to ask them to bury them with me. They're so beautiful. Thank you. I mean, Sarfraz, you wrote to me and said, I'm really sorry nobody wrote to you. If I'd known, I'd write to you every day. Please. It's really wonderful to get your notes. Zahra, oh my goodness, Zahra drew a beautiful poster of the Quran, a tree with the ayat of Quran, and she sent me a voice message, which, oh, I'm just going to keep on my phone. It is so lovely, absolutely lovely. Lots of moms, by the way. I get lots of messages from you. But yesterday, even a grandma from Pakistan, her name's Zinat, I mean, she made the soul trip over rainbows. It's awesome to read them. Thank you so much. Jazakumullah khair. But today is the 26th day. And the dua, you know, there's du'as in Ramadan to be read every day. You know that, don't you? Okay, fine. I think we put them on Q Bites. So Q Bites is an app where you get every day a little talk in the morning. Plus in Ramadan we have du'as for every day. So we put it on today. And I just love this dua. I think this particular dua for the 26th day is basically the whole month. Because you say, Allahumma ij'al sa'yi fihi mashkura. Oh Allah, on this day, on this 26th day, make my efforts, make all this hard work I'm doing worthy of you appreciating it. Then you say, and then you tell him, وَذَنْبِي فِيهِ مَغْفُورًا, and my sins to be forgiven. وَعَمَلِي فِيهِ مَقْبُولًا, and whatever I do, my deeds to be accepted. وَعَيْبِي فِيهِ مَسْتُورًا, and hide all my mistakes and my bad things. Ya Asma As-Sami'in. Oh, the best of those who listens. I love this dua. You don't only have to read it on the 26th of Ramadan. Write it down. Shall we read it again? One more time. Allahumma ij'al sa'yi fihi mashkura, wa dhanbi fihi maghfura, wa amali fihi maqbula, wa aibi fihi mastura. Ya Asma As-Sami'in. I just love it. This is the only dua that would have been accepted in the month of Ramadan. Is enough. So going on to that, if you think that there's still something that's not been answered in this month, then there is a beautiful poem written by Jalaluddin Rumi, and it's called The Awakening. Basically what I'm trying to say is Allah never disappoints in this month because we're his guests. So look what he says. He said, all night a man called out, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, until his lips were bleeding, right? And then Shaitan came and said, hey, Mr. Gullible, how come you've been calling all night and not once did Allah say, here I am? Did you hear him say, here I am? No. So he says, you call out so earnestly, and in reply, I'll tell you what, you got nothing. That's what Shaitan told him. The man felt so empty. He felt so abandoned, so depressed. He cried and he threw himself down on the ground and he fell into a deep sleep. In his dream, he sees Prophet Ibrahim. And Prophet Ibrahim said, what happened? Why are you regretting praising Allah and saying Ya Allah all the time? And he said, I called and I called and I called, but Allah never replied, here I am. So you know what Prophet Ibrahim says to him? He says, Allah is saying, you're calling my name as my reply. You're longing for me, you're wanting me as my message to you. All your attempts to reach me are in reality my attempts to reach you. Your fear and love are a noose. A noose is like something around your neck to catch me. In the silence that surrounds every call of Allah waits 1,000 replies of here I am. So basically, the very fact that you want to say Ya Allah is Allah replying to you. And I love this, absolutely love it. And in Ramadan, I mean, so much more we've got to do, okay? So never stop calling out to him. Just every time, just call out to him. The way he's answering is by you wanting to call him out. It's beautiful. Okay, A to Z of Salah. You ready? A for Adhan. B for your book of Salah. Okay, C for connect. Remember, with presence of heart, right? D for Dua. E for essentials, right? Rukn. How many wajibats are there? I'm going to keep on saying this until you never forget. 10 fingers and a nose. 11. How many essentials? 5. What are the essentials? Quickly. Takbiratul Ihram. Second one, Niyyah. Third one, Qiyam. Fourth one, Ruku. And the fifth one, the 2 sujuds. You remember that, okay? F for forgiveness. G for gratitude. H for home. You had your little corner, your comfort corner. I for intention. J for Jahar and Jama'ah and Jum'ah. K for Kaaba. L for Layl. M for Masjid. N for Noor, well done. That divine energy. O for one. One, right? Never forget that. One, obedience. Okay, obedience to the one. P for peace. That was our taslim and our salam. Q for qiyam, qira'ah, qu'ud, kunut. And we put kunut with du'as if you remember. R for ruku. And what did you do yesterday? S for sujood. So today we're going to do T. And Zahra in her voice message told me, I'm sure you're going to do T for tafsir, takbir, and tasbih. Very, very near. T for takbir, for tashahud, for taqibat, and then tasbih is part of taqibat. Let's see if we have the time to finish all these. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is takbir. I know I've done it a few times, but like I said, Quran says enough atil dhikra. There is always a benefit or a benefit in repetition. So takbir, you know, it's wajib just to say it. You don't have to raise your hands. But if you raise your hands, so much better. So you would raise your hands, your fingers. You see this should be near your earlobe, but these should be together, okay, like that. And well, the moment you say Allahu Akbar, you have built a force field around you, and the doors of Jannah just open. It's like a key. It's like that magical number that you put in, and suddenly something opens up. It's phenomenal. It's like your passcode to open the doors of Jannah just by saying in your salah, Allahu Akbar. Allah is greater than anyone or anything. Then it's a total focus on Allah. And remember I told you the story about it being mustahab to say 6 more. I'm going to repeat it because I love that story. So we're told that Imam Hussein was he didn't speak so fast when he was little. So he didn't start speaking till he was a little bit older. And the Prophet was taking him to the mosque once. Took him all the time, or this particular time, took him to the mosque. And he was starting to pray Salah. And he stood Imam Hussein near him. And he said, Allahu Akbar. And Imam Hussein repeated it, but not quite as well as he should. But on the 6th time, he said it perfectly. So it's mustahab that you say 6 times Allahu Akbar before your takbiratul ihram. And you always remember Imam Hussein. I just love this. I mean, why wouldn't you want to say it? And straight after takbir, there are lots of du'as, by the way, in between the 3 and then in between the 2. You can look them all up in Mafatihul Jinan. But the one that I love after Takbiratul Ihram is from Imam Hujjat. He says, Ya Muhsinu qad ataqal musi. Oh, the one who does ihsan, who gives so much, in front of you is the sinner. فَتَجَاوَزْ عَنْ قَبِيهِ مَا عِنْدِي بِجَمِيلِ مَا عِنْدَكَ يَا كَرِيمِ. Change what is ugly in me with what is beautiful in you, oh, the most generous. Oh, you got to learn this. It's on the website, by the way, on Q Fatima. Look it up, download it, put it near your musalla, and recite it all the time. So, takbir, oh, I just love it. Can you imagine your passcode to open up the door of Jannah? You know, when you go to doors and you put in some code in and it opens up? Well, that's your code. Your first Allahu Akbar, those 6 mustahab and this wajib one. The moment you say it, the doors of Jannah just fling open. That's it. They're there. Okay. Then I said T was also for tashahud. Tashahud is not a rukn, so it's not essential, but it's wajib. Okay, so you have to say it. So there are 3 lines, just 3 lines. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. And the salawat. So after, and I don't like saying salawat, and I'll tell you why in a minute, because it's actually salah ala nabi. It is a blessing on the Prophet. Salawat is the plural of salah. But because we come from the Indian subcontinent, I do too, my ancestors came from there, somehow we say salawat. Salawat is plural of salah. So whenever you want to send blessings on the Prophet, try to change the way you say things and say salah ala nabi. Okay, well, that's something just extra. After we say ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, and we really bring this to mind, that is basically who we're about, we then bear witness to Risala, to the prophethood of the Prophet. And then the salawat. See, I said it too. Salah ala Nabi is the symbol of love. It's a symbol of friendship, of muhabba, of mawadda to the family of the Prophet. It's so beautiful. And just before the tashahhud, you could say Bismillahi wa billahi walhamdulillah wa khairul asma'ul husna kulluha lillah. Do you want to say that with me? Bismillahi وبالله والحمد لله. That's easy, isn't it? And then وخير الأسماء الحسنى كلها لله. So I start in the name of Allah and with Allah, and all praise and gratitude be for Allah, and the best of names, all of them are for Allah. So it's good to say that before the shower. And then my favorite tea, my absolute favorite tea is taqibat. It's just my favorite. You know, when we were reading the sermon of the Prophet, do you remember? Let me go back to it so you remember. It was the first day of Ramadan when we talked about it. He said, وَتُوبُوا إِلَى اللَّهِ مِن ذُنُوبِكُم. And we talked about it just now. Do tawbah to Allah for your sins. وَارْفَعُوا إِلَيْهِ أَيْدِيَكُمْ بِالدُّعَاء. Raise your hands in dua. When? فِي أَوْقَاتِ صَلَوَاتِكُمْ. At the times of your salah. فإنها أفضل الساعات, because that's the best of times. ينظر الله فيها بالرحمة إلى عباده. Allah watches over his abd with rahmah, with kindness. ويجيبهم إذا ناجوا, and he replies to them what they the secrets they want to tell him. ويلبيهم إذا نادوا, and he responds to when they call him. وَيُعْطِيهِمْ إِذَا سَأَلُوهُ, and he gives them when they ask. وَيَسْتَجِيبُ لَهُمْ إِذَا دَعَوْهُ, and he replies. My goodness, can you imagine? At these times, that is what taqibat is about. See, salah is wajib, isn't it? Because we've got to pray. But this is personalization. This is now me asking him about all different. It's private, it's personal. Taqibat comes from aqib or aqaba, which means to follow it up with something else. You know, in Surah Al-Inshirah, do you know what Surah Al-Inshirah is? Okay. You have the one in Inshirah, Surah number 94. At the end, Allah says, فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانْصَبْ وَإِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ فَارْغَبْ. When you have completed your responsibilities, then turn your attention to Allah. Salah is a responsibility. Many of the Mufassirin tell us that this is talking about Salah. The Ahadith say that when it's referring to Salah, it means that when you finish your wajibat, then focus with dua to your Rabb. Imam Baqir says it refers to du'as after salah. Imam Sadiq says that this taqibat brings you more sustenance than going out to look for prosperity. This is the secret of success. Taqibat. It literally is the secret. So what do we do in taqibat? Do you know? Okay. So the first thing we do is the 3 takbirs. That's part of taqibat. It's not part of salah. Normally people think when they finish salah and they say Allahu Akbar 3 times. In fact, sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes when I see children, it's like they're flapping their wings. They got Allahu Akbar, Allah, like, it's not what you're supposed to do. If you can't lift your hands properly like that, then don't. Just put it down and say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Say it properly. That is part of the taqibat. And you find this is most repeated in salah. He is greater than Allah. He is greater than everything and everyone. Then salah ala nabi. Straight after those takbirs, you say, and it's part of the Quran when in Surah Al-Ahzab, ayah 56, Inna Allaha wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allah and His angels send salawat, send salah ala nabi on the Prophet. Oh, you who believe, you do the same as well. But the best taqib is the tasbih of Sayyidah Fatima al-Zahra. You have to have a tasbih. And the best tasbih is one made of khaki shafa. Now, I keep that, from the turba of Imam Hussein, I keep that in my musalla because sometimes you have to really look after it. So you look after it really well. But otherwise, I use different ones. So the tasbih is 34 times Allahu Akbar, 33 times Alhamdulillah, and 33 times Subhanallah. You know, it was a present. It's actually a gift to Sayyidah Fatima al-Zahra from the Prophet. I mean, there are lots of ahadith, but one in particular says that he came to visit her once and he found her working on her own and it was quite difficult. And he said, shall I give you something that will energize you? I'll give you a gift. And he gives her this gift. And the first thing she does is she made a tasbih out of blue knotted wool. That was her first tasbih. Then when Hazrat Hamza was martyred, was killed, she goes to his grave. She took the earth from there. She made little clay beads and she threaded them on a blue thread. Because he was known as Sayyid al-Shahada, the chief of the marchers, the chief of those who gave their lives in the way of God. But then her son became Sayyid al-Shahada. So now we get the earth from Karbala and we make these beads, and it's just amazing. Let me tell you all the things about this tasbih, so you never forget. When you sit down, as soon as you finish praying, you gotta do this tasbih. It's something you've got to do. Imam Sadiq says, Allah forgives the sins of the one who does tasbih of Fatima, and he ends it with La ilaha illallah after every salah. Imam Sadiq says, again, he says, it's better than praying 1,000 rakats every day. One tasbih of Sayyidah Fatima. He says, if you do the tasbih before you move around in salah, then Allah will make Jannah wajib on you. Forgive your sins, Jannah wajib on you. He says, we commanded our children to do tasbih just as we commanded them to pray. It's a safety from misfortunes. A man came to him and said, my ears hurt so much. And Imam said, do you not do tasbih of Sayyidah Fatima? And he asked Imam, what is that? And Imam taught him. And shortly after that, the wine dua, he took medicine as well, but he did the tasbih of Sayyidah Fatima. Imam Qadim says that there are 5 things that every mu'min should have: a toothbrush, a hairbrush, a musalla, a tasbih, and an aqiq ring. Really cool, isn't it? I just love it. There's so much I can tell you about it. Just one more, okay? One tiny bit more, and then we'll go on to the surahs that we're going to do today. So, there's a hadith of Imam Sadiq when he was asked, what's the secret behind the Kaaba having 4 corners? A rukn is a corner, right? We talked about rukn is a corner. And why is it square? So Imam said, well, you know Baytul Ma'mur, the house that's right above the Kaaba in the heavens. Well, that has 4 rukn as well. But then the man said, well, why does Baytul Ma'mur have 4 rukn? Why is it a square? Why is it a cube? And Imam says, because the Arsh of Allah, the throne, has 4 rukn. And the man said, but why? Why 4 corners? Tell me. And Imam said, because every authority is dependent on these 4. And that's Allahu Akbar, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, La ilaha illallah. And it's amazing what these 4 can do. You really got to know them. Do you know Tasbihat Arba? Subhanallahi, Walhamdulillahi, wa la ilaha illallah, Wallahu Akbar. This is something that we need to learn again and again and again. Never underestimate what the tasbih of Sayyidah Fatima can do. Every time, just carry one around. You could wear them around like that. You know, sometimes you see all the scholars having a tasbih. It's not because they're trying to show off. It's because they're trying to tell you and me that you cannot live without a tasbih. It should be just part of everything you do. Make one. Not some wall. Do whatever you want, but have a tasbih with you. Okay, can I have a salawat, please? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil faraja. So today, the 2 surahs that we're going to look at are the ma'udhatain. So they're called the 2 protectors. So isti'adha is recommended before all recitation of the Quran. You know, we've done it as well in Surah An-Nahl, Surah number 16, ayah 98. Allah says, فَإِذَا قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنَ فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ. Whenever you recite the Quran, ask for protection, for refuge from the shaitan. Okay, so isti'adha is to ask for refuge. Ma'udhatain are the 2 surahs that we ask for refuge. So you have the whole Quran and you've learned so much from it, but now you need protection because otherwise you can move away from it. So that's what it's there for. So when you say a'udhu, you're basically saying, I seek protection from every danger. Now, who do you seek protection from? You seek protection from someone who's powerful. They must have the ability to help you. They must be able to hear you. They must be on your side. That's what you do. So let's look at the first one. Suratul Falaq. Suratul Falaq is protection from outer entities. Suratul Nas is protection from inner entities. Okay? And the key word here is falaq. That's what it means, isn't it? So falaqa means to tear open something so the insides come out. So if you took a cushion and you tore the cover and the insides came out, that would be falaq. So the rays of the morning tear through the darkness. The moment you say falaq, you imagine the morning light tearing through the darkness. Let me give you another example. So eggs have a hard shell, and inside the egg is this little chick, right? The breaking of the egg and the coming out of the chick is also called falaq. So the power of the chick to break out of the egg is called Rabbul Falaq. Okay? He who enables the transformation of breaking out. So just like the eggshell around the chick, you imagine that the night covers the earth like an eggshell. And then the rays of light in the morning break through that, and the world experiences another day, another birthday, the birth of a day as such. Okay. So, really important to understand what this says. So, again, it's good to look at your Quran and we see what we're asking for. So, we say, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. I seek refuge. I want protection from the Rabb of Falak, the one who breaks apart, brings about light. From what? مِن شَرِّ مَا خَلَقَ. From the evil of creation, from the potential harm of all creation. Allah only creates good. بِيَدِهِ الْخَيْرِ. In His hands is all goodness. So when a bee stings me, the bee doesn't want to do harm to me, but I see it as painful. I see it as an evil from the bee, although the bee is not being evil. So that's what it is when it says, min sharri ma khalaq. Save me from the potential of what they may not think is evil, but is evil towards me. وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبَ. I want protection from the darkness when I can't see anything, when it's intense. Waqab is when something becomes invisible because it's so dark, something that takes away my freedom, something that even takes away my knowledge. The darkness of ignorance is awful. وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ. And from the evils of those who blow on knots. Now that could be black magic or sorcery. But aqd is also a knot of a relationship. So when somebody tries to blow on a knot of relationship, if I told you, for example, are you friends with Fatima? And you say, yeah, and I go, well, be careful. I didn't say anything. I just said, be careful. I said, oh, really? And that made you think. That is blowing on that relationship. So we're asking that we can never be like that, to blow on somebody else's relationship. And then وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدَ. And from the evil of the jealous one when he is jealous. All of us are a little bit envious to some extent. But jealousy is where you don't want the other person to have it and you want to take it away from them. It's a destructive force. The first crime that was committed in the world is by Qabil towards Habil because he was jealous. Yusuf's brother, Prophet Yusuf's brothers were jealous. That's why they put him in the well. And in some ahadith, they compare to lice. Do you know what lice are? Nits. When you talk about them, you want to scratch, right? They're harmless, but they're irritating. They die of overeating dead skin, and they're very difficult to remove. So there's a thing about these people who are really jealous and were causing destruction. And Allah destroyed them and created nits so we could understand what jealousy is all about. Oh, it's awful. Absolutely awful. We all have this seed in the heart of being envious. Just pray to Allah never to make it into jealousy. But in essence, this surah is to verbalize. That means to say our weakness in dealing with our inability to deal with things that we cannot control, things from the outside that we cannot control. So we saw 4 things here. There are 5 shars in these 2 surahs. The 4 things we saw is potential of harm from creation. So intense darkness where there's no visibility. It could be ignorance, it could be obstructions. Powers whose function we can't comprehend, like black magic or sorcery or people blowing on relationships. But the most potent one is the jealous one when he is jealous. And then Surah Al-Nas. So Surah Al-Falaq, protection from outer entities. Now, Surah Al-Nas is protection from inner entities, the inner whisperings in our soul. And this is the final surah of the Quran. See, the Quran begins with Surah Al-Fatiha, and it tells us that the only path to success is by praising and His gratitude, alhamd, becoming His slave, and seeking help from His alone. We did Surah Al-Fatiha, remember? And the final thing, the final part of the Quran is asking for protection from the whispering of the soul, which stops us from going on Sirat al-Mustaqim. So it says Surah Al-Nas. Nas in essence is a plural of insan. Insan is a creation who forgets, but a creation which has a sociable personality who can think and reason. Allah sometimes calls human beings bashar, which means your outer layer of skin that a human being has. But in essence, insan is somebody who can think and reason. So he's saying, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. I seek protection from the Rabb of human beings. Malikin Nas, the absolute authority over human beings. Ilahin Nas, the God of human beings. See, Rabb is the one who nourishes, cherishes, is our master, who looks after us totally. Malik is someone who has total authority over us. The king, we belong to him. Ilahin nas. Ilah is somebody we fall in love with. So it's really important to understand these three things. We're asking for protection from what? Min sharril waswasil khannas. Probably the most difficult, the worst of the things. We're asking from the evil of waswas. My goodness, it even sounds like whisper. Of the whispering of the khannas. Khannas is referred to something like shaitan, who whispers and then he runs away. As soon as divinity is mentioned, he runs away. So Allah says these come from min al jinnati wan nas, from energies whose nature we don't understand and cannot see, and from human beings. So they whisper inside us, they go away, and they leave us feeling, oh my goodness, I don't want to do good. So, what is this waswas? These are things that feed our negativity. So some of the hadiths tell us there are 9 things. There's greed, there's expectation, there's worldly desires, there's wanting more and more and more. There's difficulties sometimes make us think like that. Arrogance, making somebody small, belittling others, loving the world too much, being stingy. All these are whisperings that take effect in us. So, in a nutshell, read Falak and Nas all the time. Falak to save us from things that are outside that we cannot control, and Nas from the things inside that we wish to calm down and say, go away, don't want to listen to you. I want to focus on my Rabb. Okay, so let's recite Falak and Nas, and then we will recite Surah Al-Fatiha, our dua for protection, and ziyarah of Imam Hussein. Are you ready? Okay. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Qul a'udhu birabbil falaq. Min sharri ma khalaq. Wa min sharri ghasiqin idha waqab. ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. Shall we recite Surah Al-Fatiha? You ready? Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladhina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. لي 5 عطفي بها هر الوباء الحاتمة المصطفى والمرتضى وأبناهما والفاطمة السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Let's pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of Ahlul Quran, to make us those who do the tasbih of Sayyidah Fatima Zahra all the time. We understand the value of taqibat, and oh my goodness, few days left to give us the greatest benefit of Ramadan. Forgive us. Inshallah, I'll see you again tomorrow at the same time. في أمان الله قريب. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم.